the 2K Sports Pregame Show.
Okay, basketball fans, with me, Kenny the Jet Smith, Shaquille O'Neal, I'm Ernie Johnson. You're watching 2K Sports, but you know that already. And Oklahoma City is where we'll be going just moments from now, as the Thunder will be going up against the Houston Rockets. Taking a look at the Rockets, their record has fallen off the pace they set last season. No team wants to see that regression. They're looking to turn things around, and we'll see how they do tonight. Tonight, we'll get to see James Harden. We know how he can dominate and how he can be on offense. And Kenny, a lot of that has to do with his ability to get to the free throw line.
I agree. He keeps defenders off balance. You know, he's able to put his body into players and able to draw fouls. Nearly impossible to stop when his shot is falling.
You know, speaking of body, he remade his body to become quicker, Kenny.
Really?
And he doesn't get enough credit for how smart he is. 2 + 2 is 5, baby.
Oh.
Hey, you know who I like to quote when it comes to free throw shooting and getting to the line?
Shaq?
No.
Oh.
Dick Versace. Remember the old coach Dick Versace?
I remember. What did he
Hold on, that's how you say his last name?
Dick Versace,
Used
yeah.
to say what?
I thought it was Versace.
No, it's Versace.
That's another one. But
Okay,
Dick
got
Versace,
it.
Dick Versace used to call free throw shooting the NBA's hidden way to score. People don't think about it, but yeah, you get to the line, point totals add up.
It wasn't.
It's the hidden way to score.
It wasn't undercover.
Sure it's not Versace?
I think it is.
I'm pretty sure.
He has a clothing line, right?
K Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the NBA.
The Rockets are looking to defeat their Western Conference rival going into this game. Thanks for tuning in, everyone, to this broadcast of NBA basketball on 2K Sports. This is Kevin Harlan alongside Greg Anthony as well as Brett Barry. And we'll be catching up a bit from the sideline with David Aldridge. Thunder making a quick stop here in front of their home crowd of Oklahoma City, just one game before heading back out on the road. Guys, when you compare their performance last season to where they sit right now, not a whole lot different story. Not necessarily a big surprise either.
And there's history, some bad blood between these two teams that makes it all the more interesting.
Well, that much more competitive, too, and that's the compelling part here in this matchup. You play so many games in an NBA season. This is the one you get up for.
And before we get going, let's hear from David Aldridge down on the sideline. David?
Thank you, Kevin. Well, we know Rockets coach Mike D'Antoni was the architect of the 7 seconds or less offense in Phoenix. But he says we should have been more aggressive. We kept asking, is it too many threes? Now, there's no such thing. Kevin?
Great stuff, D.A. Thanks. Interconference battle tonight, Brett. You could feel the change in atmosphere when you go up against a rival.
No doubt about it.
It's amazing.
Not only the teams are feeling it, but there's something to the fan bases who
Sure.
understand, these guys. I don't care if we win another game, but we want to win this game
one,
tonight.
Yeah. That's important. And so off the tip, it's Oklahoma City. All right, let's set the floor. Courtesy of Gatorade. All fueled up and ready to go. And so in the game for the Rockets. The engine of this team, Paul and Harden in the backcourt. Chris is out there with Clint Capella. And it's Anthony in at the 3 spot.
You know, a big guy with a motor is such a luxury in this league. Adams right there showing up big on the offensive glass, and then he converts.
Now here's Paul. And the 3 off target. Here's Robertson to the middle. Paul with the steal. Now, here is Harden. Defense is right there. And Westbrook pulls it down. And so Westbrook will bring it up for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Passes it to George. He kicks it to Grant. Pass to Westbrook. Adams outside. 5 to shoot. And it's out of bounds. Oklahoma City able to retain possession here. And just over a minute played here in the start of the game. Rocket 2. Here's George. The baseline jumper goes down. George has got his first points in this one.
I don't think Paul George worries about that hand right there. He spotted the rim and knocked it down.
Harden surveying the D. Paul outside. That shot wide open.
Deceptive speed from Paul there. You never know what he's going to do.
Outside Westbrook from past the arc. Chris with the rebound. For Houston, they've gone 1 of 3 from the field to start this one so far. Here's Anthony. It's rebounded by Oklahoma City, coming into this having notched a win against Cleveland in their last game.
Executed on the road, stayed focused, stayed consistent with who you are as a team.
Such a confidence builder to go on the road and be able to dictate the tempo, the style of play, keep your identity. They were able to do that here.
Not sure what the D was doing there. Clearly a breakdown. You can ill afford to give a guy like him that good a look.
No stopping him there. Jams it in as he's fouled. Chance now for a three-point play. That's on Clint Capella.
Well, you don't want to give Adams the and-one opportunity. Better to wrap him up and force him to try to earn all the points from the free throw line.
One shot.
Free throw good, Adams. And he was one of many big names in free agency this past summer. Paul George, a huge part of that. But, you know, Greg, he didn't take long to make his decision.
Many expected George to maybe jump to the Lakers. Had been saying it was his dream to play in L.A. for over a year. But credit Westbrook and the Thunder. They won him over. He was one of the first signings in free agency to re-up with OKC.
Now Harden. Paul George missing from long range. Lob pass to Capella. That one no good.
And a little frustration now, missing on the catch and flush.
Sometimes the easy play is the right play. You take a chance when you go for that big finish.
And now the first timeout called here for the Rockets.
And Steven Adams, the kind of guy who on a nightly basis is so appreciated by the star players on the team and certainly the coaching staff, just doing dirty work, setting screens, scoring on the inside, being a physical presence. And he's taken some strides, I think, Kevin, offensively, being able to score sometimes out of the box.
And here's Harden after Paul George getting his 3 to go. There's the 3. The Rockets with another miss. Oklahoma City leading by 8. And first quarter, we're about 3.5 minutes in. Here's Westbrook again, Oklahoma City. And you look at Adams' per-minute scoring averages, Brent. They've gone up every season.
Well, it's got to help having Russell Westbrook setting the table and the type of attention that not only Westbrook drew, but also PG and Carmelo Anthony for a season. So obvious uptick in the offensive numbers for Steven Adams, but he is improving, and you see some confidence in the offensive end of the floor.
And so here is Oklahoma City following the three-pointer by Carmelo Anthony. George against Anthony. A baseline J. And that one comes up a bit short. Rockets trail by 7. Goes up from the top of the key. And it goes out of bounds. That one's off Anthony.
And taking a look now at stats for Paul George. He's coming off an excellent season. He averaged 22 points a game, just over 2 steals and 5 rebounds. And impressive numbers, no doubt. It's the kind of run we've come to expect from him.
Synergy, all elements right now working together, and the game is coming so easy right now.
Launches it. It's rebounded by Paul. For the Houston Rockets, they come in off the loss to Indiana. And there's the pass to Harden. Kicks it to Capella. Good. It's Harden with the assist that time. Westbrook with it. He had 25 points in the win against the Cavaliers in Cleveland.
Well, I think he was especially impressive on the glass. The defense had no idea what to do with him.
Good on the three-point shot. 8 points for Paul George.
And right now, the torture chamber that Paul George has put the defense in is paying off for his team.
Pass to Chris. Deflects the pass. Now here's Harden. He's guarded closely. And Grant sends it back.
A skilled shot blocker, Grant, coming over and is so quick off the floor, swats that one out.
And George kicks to Westbrook. To the wing on the left. Grant gets a wide open look. Off the mark there with the three-point shot.
And they had some botched coverage that turned into no coverage.
Passes it to Harden. Down low, Chris. And Chris throws it down.
How about Chris using a little bit of muscle to get his way, fighting through the contact that time.
And 6'10" forward Marquise Chris, the 8th overall pick in 2016 out of the University of Washington.
And you know, Kevin, it was almost like he took a step back in year two. The guy's an athletic pogo stick, but you're going to need more than just size and leaping ability if you want to succeed in this league.
Marquise Chris has potential oozing from his fingertips. So exciting and so athletic at that 4 spot.
Now here's Westbrook. His offensive numbers jump right off the screen at you. He's averaging over 29 points a game. And George kicks to Robertson. Kept alive. Whistle blows. Basket is good. So a chance here for a three-point play.
Just doing the job on the backboard.
For Oklahoma City, they have made their only other free throw attempt today in an earlier trip to the line.
And typically a strength of theirs, 79% on the season.
One shot, behind the lanes.
Talk about what it means to be a good teammate, Brent. You've played with good ones. You've played with bad ones. I've always thought you were team first when you played.
Well, I appreciate that, Kevin. There's just an idea about what it is that you can contribute to the team. I think you always have to accentuate those ideals. Your approach on a daily basis has to be consistent. And if you're a starting player, it's one mentality. And if you're somebody that plays off the bench, you have to come to practice every day to push the guy that's in front of you and wait for your opportunity. But most of the time, it's that kind of consistency with which you come to work and the attitude of making sure that I want to make any kind of contribution I can for our team's success. That usually is a pretty good formula for a good teammate.
Timeout called the Rockets. Well, we see Andre Robertson making his return from the ruptured patellar tendon of winter 2018.
Just how disruptive was it for Billy Donovan and the Thunder to lose Andre Robertson last year? The numbers were staggering in terms of the defensive rating when he was on the floor, just how good they were. And the guy averages less than 5 points a game for his career, but his impact defensively cannot be understated.
Now Schroeder following Chris Paul's three-point attempt. They get a hand on it. Noel passes to Adams. Here's Schroeder. Good for the basket. Starting off 1 for 1 with that shot.
And from the opening tip, they just crushed it. You see it now on the scoreboard.
Just incredible flow offensively. Everyone's doing their part. Let's see if they can sustain this early momentum.
Now here's Paul. He had a 24-point outing in their last game against the Pacers in Indianapolis.
Well, I think he was especially impressive on the glass. The defense had no idea what to do with him.
Here's George. A 12-point game. They're running. Gordon with no one around. And there's the foul. It'll go on P.J. Tucker. That's his first foul. Patrick Patterson. He's checked in for Oklahoma City. And a switch here also for Houston. Green's checked in. The Thunder leading by 12. It's Noel, high post. Nene on him. Schroeder finds Patterson. The shot's good on the assist by Schroeder.
Timely passing leads to assists, and that's been the recipe for success.
Gordon against George. They need this one. And Gordon with the lay-in. Good.
Great finish from Gordon in traffic. You like to see the smaller guys operate down low as long as they're patient.
George against Green. Upside Felton. The teardrop falls in. Felton has got his first bucket of the night.
Defensively, they've got to pick up the intensity. Hard to win surrendering this high a field goal percentage.
George against Gordon. And stolen by Noel. Schroeder outside, pass to Noel. Now here's Schroeder, guarded by Tucker. Patterson can't get it to go.
They've been sensational on the backboard to start this game.
And the foul called on Nerlens Noel. That's his first foul.
That's his first personal foul.
Gordon against George. Shot from 12. And the basket by Gordon. Gordon's got his second basket of the night.
And they run the pick and roll right there to perfection as Gordon gets the shot to go.
Harden against Schroeder. Outside, George. Down to 5 on the shot clock. There's the three. It's rebounded by Houston.
And close to making the defense pay for the lax coverage that time.
Gordon kicks to Green. In the corner, Harden. That's his first basket of the game. 1 for 6 and looking for more.
This guy is so tough to guard. He feels like he could take any challenge that the defense is going to throw at him.
Got a piece of it. Stolen by Harden. Three-pointer. Cans it from downtown. Harden's got it back down to a single-digit deficit for Houston.
With that now, only 2 of 7 to start the game. Not the start he was hoping for.
And that one, good.
Starting to surge here, and we're only in the first quarter.
And I'm loving what I'm seeing. The passion that they're playing with up and down the floor.
Takes a three, and again, it's the Rockets from deep.
And doesn't matter how a defense plays him. Harden is going to make sure that that three-point shot is a primary weapon.
Now here's Schroeder. He's playing a pretty big role for him at the offensive end, averaging about 12.5 points a game. Felton against Green. Here's the teardrop. Yep, that one goes. And the Thunder lead by 9. And so Green will bring it up for Houston. And going against Oklahoma City, their first meeting of the year.
Yeah, and they're hoping for a better showing against this club this season. Last year they came out on the losing end. And this quarter he has clearly been off the mark.
Oklahoma City leading by 9. About 3 seconds between shot and game clock. Here's Schroeder. A three-pointer is right on target. Schroeder's got 7 points.
Well, not known as an outside Schroeder, he's definitely working on his three-point accuracy.
Harden outside. He kicks to Green. Lets it go with a three. What a play! Simply drains it in at the buzzer.
And money to end the quarter there with the triple.
It felt like he felt like time was winding down, saw the opening, nailed the shot.
And so it's Oklahoma City ahead by 9 as the quarter comes to a close. And the three-point shot has been big for them. We've got more NBA basketball coming your way in just a minute. There's a great friendship between Melo, LeBron, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Paul. And Chris talked about where all that started.
sort of long relationship, you know, and obviously me, Bron, Melo, D-Wade have all really got really close. And that stems from the time with the Olympics, USA teams, and then just sharing a lot of the same likes and values and having kids and family and different things like that.
And you see that a lot nowadays. Star players developing friendships and GAs spending time with each other off the floor.
Yeah, some people hate it because they want that bad blood you used to see, but no reason you have to hate someone to really compete against them.
And if you're just tuning in, we've got a wide margin on the scoreboard, but plenty of time left for a comeback. And when you consider how the Thunder are doing, guys, what do you think?
I tell you what, that first quarter, you can see the game plan is a commitment to offensive rebounding.
Well, their efforts have been rewarded here after winning the battle over second chance points has them ahead on the scoreboard.
At small forward and power forward, it's George and Patterson. Felton is out there with Dennis Schroeder, and it's Noel in at the center position. That's the lineup in the game for Oklahoma City. Now, here is George. He had 34 points in the win against Cleveland. Noel dishes to George. The stupendous finish in traffic. 13 points in the game.
Well, Paul George has definitely garnered some strength through the years now, and he's developed that over time in the offseason, being diligent with his work ethic and gets through contact on that play.
Now, here's Green. No one near Felton as he lets it go. The shot's good on the assist by George. George has got 3 assists now in this one. Rockets trail by 10. And here's Ennis. No points in the game yet for him. The pass to Gordon. Poked away. And oh, here we go with George. Nobody back. And George with the stuff.
Well, all of that starting right there with the steal by Paul George, illustrating his ability to anticipate that time, and a great play on the ball.
Now, here's Green. 6 points for him. Pass to Gordon. 6 to shoot. Nene down low. Noel on him, and as it goes out of bounds, Houston able to keep the ball here. For the Thunder, Grant comes in for George. And Russell Westbrook is subbed in for Raymond Felton. The Rockets also changing it up. Clint Capella, he's checked in for Nene. And it's Carmelo Anthony in for P.J. Tucker. We're now about 2 minutes into the second quarter. Here's Anthony. It's good from about 19 feet. Anthony's got 5. Billy Donovan has faced a tough job in Oklahoma City, Brent. Star players leaving town, some even criticizing him after they left.
The circumstances of Billy Donovan moving off of what he did at the University of Florida and making that a powerhouse Division I basketball program, it's been very interesting to have Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant to begin your career, and then pushing that team to almost beating the Golden State Warriors, losing in a Game 7 to losing Kevin Durant. Billy Donovan's seen a lot in the early part of his career. The hopes is that he continues to grow and learn. Really happy with the hire of Billy Donovan and what he brings to the table in terms of his basketball acumen.
Now here's Westbrook. Kicks to Patterson. That's good, and so Westbrook comes up with the assist. He has 6.
Well, Westbrook keeping his options open on that possession, doesn't force the shot, and finds a man breaking free.
Now a timeout called by Houston. Defeated by the Pacers in their last game, they'll try to put that one behind them.
And they couldn't get stops when they needed to. The opposition just too comfortable shooting the basketball.
And it's not that you have to take chances, but you got to step up your effort and try to get disruptive. They never did that. And on the road, that's a recipe for disaster.
Steven Adams, he's checked in for Oklahoma City. Robertson comes in for Patrick Patterson. Schroeder kicks to Grant. And in the second quarter, a little under 3.5 minutes played already. Kicks it out to Schroeder. Robertson, the pass to Grant. Goes back up. He lays it in. Grant's got his first bucket of the night.
Well, we've seen that movie a few times, haven't we? An easy bucket in the paint.
Paul outside. Passes it to Chris. Shoots over Schroeder. Chris can't hit.
Well, I like the shot selection. I don't like the shot result. Won't happen much.
Here's Robertson. Softly drops in the floater. Robertson's got his second bucket of the game to go.
And not hard to see why they are giving up points on this run. Just too many good looks from in close.
Paul kicks to Ennis. Back to Paul. To the paint. Looking for Chris. He gets it there. Westbrook with the steal. Pass to Robertson. And the dunk by Robertson.
Yeah, Robertson rising up and stretching out a bit to throw one in.
And it's Paul with the ball for the Houston Rockets. Trailing by 17. Ennis passes to Paul. To the right side. That's good from Chris on the assist by Paul. Chris has got his second basket of the night.
Marquise Chris is becoming a better scorer, more familiar with those areas on the floor. That time catch and shoot.
Westbrook finds Adams. Here's Schroeder. Adams trying to free himself up. And it's Schroeder missing. Rockets trail by 14. Anthony looking it over. And Grant sends it back. And now a fast break for the Thunder. Here's the floater. And good that time. Robertson's got 6 in the quarter.
Robertson getting out and quick in transition that time. Excellent at running the route in the open floor.
And he'll shoot free throws here. Clearly fouled on that shot that time. The whistle blowing. And Oklahoma City called for the foul. The Rockets shooting their second and third shots at the line right here.
Taking 2 shots.
Two shots.
Free throw drops for Ennis. We've heard Coach Steve Kerr say the power forward position as we knew it is disappearing. You could say that maybe about the center position too.
I don't want to say that about the center position. What I want to tell you, Kevin, and in my humble opinion, is that the center position has changed.
It's evolving.
So, yeah, I don't want to say that it's just disappeared because there are players out there that are playing that position and doing a lot of the things that you would qualify as center-centric, screening, going down to the block, rim running to the post, being an option down low. But it's definitely changed.
But now we're seeing him go out and defend smaller guys in the perimeter, taking threes, and that's what's weird for your eyes to just kind of absorb what's going on.
Well, it's weird to absorb not only that and what those players individually are asked to do, but when you're at a game and you're sitting in the stands and all of a sudden you see 5 guys that are outside the three-point line. I mean, go back to the game in the 80s. It's the exact opposite. It was like, a bunch of ants on top of a lost candy bar sitting in the lane, gnawing at one another.
Right.
It's just changed. So the center position, not disappeared, just changed.
And Jeremy Grant, great genes for the game, Greg. Father was Harvey, uncle was Horace, both NBA players and stars. His brother Jarian also in the association.
Yeah, and Jeremy might be the best athletically of them all. I mean, 6'8" with that 7'3" wingspan, great bounce. If he can develop his skill to match, he'll have a long and prosperous NBA career.
And the first one drops. Around the world, Brent, we've seen the NBA take a role in helping youngsters learn to play the game of basketball the right way.
So incredible what Basketball Without Borders has done with the NBA junior program expanding itself. Last year in Treviso, for the first time, the NBA doing a combine for EuroLeague players so they can start a database of the younger professional players playing overseas. It's a global game. Adam Silver is doing a remarkable job of promoting the game, and we're in a great place, Kevin.
And now here's Chris. He had a 12-point outing in their last game against the Pacers in Indianapolis. That's going to be over and back, not watching for the line that time.
All you have to do is point to their turnovers this quarter. There's a reason the scoreboard looks like it does.
James Harden, he's checked in for Ennis. Ball against Westbrook. He kicks it to Robertson. Adams down low. The feed to Grant. And he uses the glass on the layup. Grant's got 6.
They're finding lanes to the hoop now with consistency. 5 buckets in a row from the paint.
Harden outside. The 3. The rebound by Grant.
And with the success they've had rebounding the basketball, they're right where you'd expect them to be, firmly in the driver's seat.
Here's Westbrook. It's rebounded by Houston.
Yeah, I think the defense made an impact on that play, making the shooter feel a bit uncomfortable on release.
It's stolen by Adams. And now the fast break. Grant with the ball. And the dunk by Grant.
Well, seeing Jeremy Grant at his size getting out on the break in full sprint, collecting and finishing.
Harden kicks to Capella. Trying to find Harden, and he's got it now.
And how about the execution on that play? The screen was set up in exactly the right spot.
And the finish wasn't too bad either.
Yeah, it's funny how you see so many picks, but this one sets up the defense well. No one rotates over. Bang.
So it's the Thunder now, following the score by Houston. Kicks it out to Schroeder. Just 5 on the clock. Jacks up a 3. Rebounded by Capella.
He sunk that 3 in the first, but's yet to make another one.
Al Paul. Some stats for him. He averages over 21 points a game. It's stolen by Schroeder. Here's Westbrook, and it's out of bounds. Last touch by Capella.
Still Thunder ball.
George is checked in for Dennis Schroeder.
Paul George.
Near the three-point line, it's Westbrook. Paul with the defensive effort.
Yeah, his shot just doesn't seem to be synced up right now. Here's hoping he finds it soon because his team is really going to need that production tonight.
And it's another James Harden special we're witnessing here tonight. I think this fella's got some game.
And here is Grant. James Harden getting it to go from deep. George. No good off the front iron.
He's cooled down a little bit after draining those 2 3-pointers in the first quarter.
And here's Harden for 3. Unable to get that one. And it's Oklahoma City the other way. They led the game at 1 point by 20.
And seems to be forcing just a little bit out there. He needs to play a little calmer, a little smarter, with a little bit more poise if they're going to win this one.
Now here's Grant. He's got 8, and he makes that one.
And he has really come to life here after a slow start in that first quarter.
Outside Anthony. The pass to Capella. Harden outside. Harden missing again. Oklahoma City leading by 17. Down low, and George with the stuff.
Well, you can depend on Paul George to shoulder some of this offensive load. There are times where this team can turn over the reins to him, and he capitalizes that time.
Now here's Paul. Capella with it. George picks him up. Capella dishes to Harden. The Rockets again can't hit.
That's like milk on a hot day, just a bad decision. Absolutely no reason for him to be taking those shots.
And George gets it to go.
The tenacity, the attention to detail, it's why these guys are in complete control.
Yeah, it seems like they've been at it on both ends tonight. Tremendous all-around play from them. Has them up quite a bit here.
Here's Capella. Paul George making his last shot. Knocks down the 3 ball. 16 points for James Harden.
The defense is far too slow to close out on those 3-point attempts.
Westbrook passes to George. Kicks it to Grant. 1:29 left in the second quarter. Pass to Robertson. Clock at 4. It's stolen by Capella. Anthony against George. Cuts off the pass. To the inside. And the turnover again by Oklahoma City. And a look here at the shot chart for George.
And it's really been a tremendous night He's been efficient. He's been a major driving force in this offense. And it's no small task to try to slow him down. Once he gets rolling, like we've seen in this game so far, watch out.
Now here's Paul. Pass to Capella. Harden outside. At 3 off the mark.
It's a +5 advantage for them in rebounding after that one.
Here's George. Nails the baby hook. George has got 21.
Well, he does a lot of work on the perimeter, but don't let Paul George fool you. He can finish inside.
And it's Paul penetrating over Westbrook. Another miss by Houston. Oklahoma City leading by 20. Looking to get it going. And he could not get that one to go. A lot of contact, and he'll go to the line for 2.
Yeah, you could see the defense break down, but credit the aggressive play of Westbrook for making that happen.
This is his first trip to the line tonight.
76% at the stripe for him thus far this season.
2 shots. Relax on the first.
And he makes the first.
Well, a familiar sight. Westbrook gets his way back to the free throw line. I mean, the way he attacks his opponent, they're going to be forced to foul him time and time again.
Looking at who's out there now for the Thunder. Nerlens Noel comes in for Steven Adams, and it's Patterson in for Grant. Houston with a big group substitution here. Nene, he's checked in for Clint Capella. P.J. Tucker comes in for Chris. Gerald Green, he's checked in for Carmelo Anthony. And Gordon subbed in for Chris Paul.
He can't make a thing out there right now, guys. If he keeps this up, don't be surprised if his team gives up this lead. Now, you could just tell in his gait and in the look on his face, he's in a great rhythm after a terrific first quarter. He is feeling it here in the second.
Westbrook against Harden. Over to the left wing. Here's Robertson.
Well, the defense from Eric Gordon, sensational there. Really did a stellar job of contesting the jumper.
Paul George, he's been the guy making things happen for Oklahoma City. He got into double digits for the quarter with 10 points total. And now let's catch up with David Aldridge, who's standing by from the sideline. All right, Dave.
Thanks a lot. High turnovers in the first half, James. I'm sure that ball security will be a focus in the second half.
Yeah, that's still too many turnovers, especially on forced turnovers. So we got to really lock in on our turnovers, make the right play at all times.
James, thanks for the time. Back to you, Kevin.
Thanks, David. And we'll be back shortly following halftime to get the third quarter underway.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hello, folks. Good to have you back. Ernie Johnson with Kenny the Jet Smith and the Big Diesel, Shaquille O'Neal. Welcome to the NBA Halftime Show on 2K Sports. An outstanding first quarter for Paul George. He had 21 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 steals. Kenny, let's get your take on Oklahoma City.
In terms of their offensive performance, that was a very well-played half of basketball. Good ball movement off the ball, hard screens being set, and they found the guy for the open look. That's how they were able to shoot such a tremendous percentage from the field. With that fluid, efficient offense, they'll be tough to catch in the second half.
And Shaq, let's get your input on the Rockets.
Well, they were playing like it was Christmas, Ernie, giving up a lot of turnovers. There's no excuses for the turnover numbers, sloppy ball handling. They look out of control, and the execution was all over the place.
And that'll about do it as we get ready for the second half. Let's take you down to Kevin Harlan.
Shout out to my man Joel.
Joel, what up?
And there wasn't too much drama in the first half, but maybe things will tighten up here in the second. You look at Paul George in this game, guys, he's been everywhere.
And I love the game plan in that first half. They really valued each possession.
Efficient so far with the shots that he's taken. His contributions have been fantastic.
And after a very lopsided first half, we'll see if things play out a little more evenly here in the second. And it's Harden with the ball for the Houston Rockets. It's an 18-point game. And so in the game for the Rockets. Over on the wings, it's Harden paired with Melo. Clint Capella is out there with Chris, and it's Paul in at the point guard. Russell Westbrook, passionate about the game of basketball, Brent, we know that, but fashion among his foremost interests outside the game.
Yeah, the honor the gift fashion line, which, Kevin, you and I don't think we have much in our closets from that, but got to respect it. Fearless, not only on the court, but off the court in some of the attire that Russell Westbrook brings to the game.
Oh, just a picture-perfect alley-oop. You gotta love that one, Kevin.
A little surprised, Greg. He didn't go for the big slam, but it works just the same. Now, here is George. Some nice passing by Oklahoma City here. Here's Grant. It's rebounded by Houston.
That's a shot you got to step up on. Wide open, no coverage. Good shooters don't miss that often.
Here's Chris. Lays it up off the glass. Chris has got 8 points.
Nice to see Chris scoring over the top of the defense. Got to take him a little more seriously from there next time.
Here's Adams. Good work defensively by Capella. Rockets trail by 16. And Jeremy Grant picks up the foul. That'll be his second foul of the game.
That's his second personal foul.
"90 seconds now into the second half. Chris finds Capella. Paul outside. Back to Capella.
Yeah, you want 3 reasons why Steven Adams is effective. Let me give them to you. Size, length, and athleticism.
Now, here's Capella. He gives a bit of a scoring lift to the team, averaging 8 points a game. Anthony with the bucket.
Well, Carmelo Anthony operating in the mid-range is just danger zone. You got to put your defense at DEFCON 1.
Here's Robertson. Pass to Grant. In the corner, George with it. Shot clock at 6. And he hits it just before the shot clock expires. George has got 23.
And he can smell blood in the water. Excellent finish.
Yeah, when your opponent's down and frustrated, this is when you can turn it up.
In the corner, it's Westbrook over Paul. Westbrook, no good. Rockets trail by 16. Outside Anthony. He kicks to Paul. No good on the 3. Thunder have gone 2 of 5 shooting here in the third quarter. Robertson. It's hauled in by Clint Capella. Capella's got 6 rebounds now in the game. Here's Harden.
Ooh.
Okay.
That's how you attack. Wow. Yeah, just constantly attacking the paint. Harden does not settle.
That instant replay brought to you by Under Armour Hover Havoc, giving us a chance to relive the unleashing of chaos that time. Now here's Westbrook. He has 5. Gets the 3-pointer to fall. He's got 26.
Yeah, the onslaught continues. He's been unstoppable now for a couple of nights.
Well, a tip of the cap to the coaching staff here. They're recognizing how well he's playing, so the game plan has been built around him.
Timeout called, the Rockets.
So interesting with Russell Westbrook, never really touted or championed growing up, but if you go to UCLA, you have to be halfway decent, don't you, Kevin? 5'8" stick figure back in high school and came off the bench his freshman year at UCLA, and I just don't think anybody saw what was coming out of Russell Westbrook, but we're appreciating it now.
Looking at who's out there now for the Thunder. Raymond Felton, he's checked in for Andre Robertson. And Dennis Schroeder subbed in for Russell Westbrook. Here's Felton. James Harden picking up that last basket. Back to Felton. Now the pass to Grant. And the rebound goes to the Rockets. Chris has got his 4th rebound in this one. And you heard the story. Westbrook showed up for a basketball camp in Atlanta. His name wasn't on the list. Had to sit in the lobby for 4 hours before they let him in.
That story is hard to believe. Obviously not a blue chip recruit, and I don't think that Russell Westbrook ever thought about seeing himself in the NBA at any point, was just hoping to get a scholarship. And that second season at UCLA opened up some eyes about just how athletic and explosive he could be. Here we are today.
Rockets trail by 17. Harden with it. He's got 23. Here's Ennis. An amazing finish with a hand right in his face. And so it's Schroeder with the ball. He'll bring it up for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Outside, George. Harden against Felton. 5 on the clock. Kicks it out to Schroeder. Offensive rebound. That one good for 2. 7 points for Steven Adams.
A slight rebound advantage for them. One more column in their favor, and it's all adding up.
Paul passes to Capella. Poked loose. Stolen by George. Here's Felton. And it's James Harden with the rebound. Harden's got his 4th rebound in this one. To the paint. Here's Capella. Good. It's Harden with the assist that time. Harden's got 5 assists tonight.
And of the last 6 baskets, 5 have come on the interior. This is just smash-mouth physical basketball, guys.
Now here's Felton. He has 6. Kicks it to George. Back to Felton. 5 on the clock. Wide open shot is on the money. Felton's got 8.
How about that move? You'll see very few players able to pull off. Just sensational stuff.
Harden with it. Now Felton defending. Ennis with the ball. Adams on him. Here's Chris. And the 3 off target. The Thunder leading by 17. And here's George. 26 points for him. Now Schroeder, back to George. Connects from 3-point range. George has got 29 in the game.
3-point shooting since the half has been about as good as you could ask for.
Inside, it's tipped. It's stolen by Adams. Inside, and George with the stuff.
And trust me, Dennis Schroeder would love to score the basketball, but his ability to set up his teammates is also effective.
Houston's gotten blank from 3-point land so far in the third. Still 0 for 3. Paul outside. Basket is good. He'll get a chance for one more at the line.
Yeah, Chris Paul is not afraid of getting hit, whether it's him initiating it or anticipating it. Plays through that contact well.
You know, when Chris Paul came to the Rockets, a lot of people questioned if he and James Harden would be able to share the ball. Both known for being ball-dominant guards, I think you'd have to say it's worked out pretty well.
Noel's checked in for Oklahoma City. Patterson comes in for Jeremy Grant.
1 shot, mind the lanes.
And that one falls for Paul. And I think Chris Paul never comfortable with that ball-dominant label, Greg. He never played with another guard who could create, certainly on the level of Harden.
No doubt about it. I mean, Mo P, J.J. Redick, guys who were great shooters, but really more off-the-ball players. Chris needed to be that kind of a playmaker, but with Harden, he has someone just as gifted at creating baskets for himself and others.
I'd love to see them impose themselves a little more on the backboard. That's a great way to find confidence. Always a surefire way to get back in the game.
And Patterson kicks to George. Oklahoma City moving it around. Noel with it. Picked up by Nene. Down to 5 on the shot clock. George with no one around. That 3 off the mark. Rockets trail by 19. Tucker finds Paul. To the middle. The shot that time not on target. So the Thunder will take it the other way. 22 is their biggest lead. Felton the pass to Schroeder. Back to Felton. That one is good. He's only missed one shot of his 6 taken on the floor.
Oh, perfect timing there to knock down the teardrop.
Gordon against Felton. Gordon goes in, and they call the foul, so he's got the and one chance here to make it a 3-point play.
And really trying to work the ball inside here and starting to get results. A lot of that offense coming in the paint here in the second half.
Shooting 1.
The free throw drops for Gordon.
And Eric Gordon, the 2017 Sixth Man of the Year award winner. I mean, he has found a home and just been tremendously productive with the Rockets.
Now here's Patterson. He's got 6. Count it. Patterson's got 8 points.
Well, Patterson usually on the perimeter. This time down on the inside, doing a little bit of damage.
Schroeder against Paul. And he hits the jumper. Well, he's been waiting for that for a while. He has 7. And Gordon, also the winner of the 2017 three-point shootout. His long-range proficiency, a great fit on the Rockets.
You know, he's got that low set shot release, but, man, he gets it off with great volume and one of the more prolific three-point shooters in our league.
And a bit of a battle here for the ball. The official signals a jump ball here. And it's the Thunder with the ball. Schroeder looking over the floor. Felton can't get it to go. Rockets trail by 18. Outside, Green. 1:51 left to play in the third. 6 on the shot clock. Here's Tucker. The Thunder pull it in. Here's Schroeder. 9 points in the game so far. .125 left in the third quarter of the game. And he's fouled pretty hard on that shot, but he's got the chance to pick up the points at the line. It's on Nene.
A lot of high hopes for Schroeder when he signed his 4-year deal back in 2016. His development hasn't continued at a high level, at least high enough for some people to take notice. So shooting from a distance, still an issue for the young point guard.
2 shots.
The first one falls. Well, with Schroeder, he just isn't consistent enough from three-point range as point guards need to be today.
Well, last season was just a shade under the 30% range. He's still a great scorer by slashing and going to the rim, but that's going to tire you out. Teams back off and make you prove it. We'll see if Dennis can find some consistency from that range to be more dangerous.
And that one goes in. 2 from the line that time.
The potential Schroeder has is pretty exciting. Such a lightning-quick point guard.
Gordon kicks to Anthony. Nene outside. Back to Anthony. And good that time. Anthony's got 11 points.
And so far going for more of an inside presence here in the second half, getting away from the three-point shot.
Westbrook against Green. Latre. Green with the rebound. Anthony in the corner. Offline with his 3.
Well, the D looks like they're laying off just a little bit. He made 1 3 in the first half, but they're still daring him to shoot, and he can't make them pay for it.
And the Thunder making a switch here. Adams checked in.
Adams.
.40 seconds left in the third. Here's Schroeder, and it's blocked by Gordon. To the paint. Nene dishes to Green. And the layup's good off the glass. 8 points for him.
And you know what? One of the few bright spots in this game for them today. He's kept his edge even though they've been trailing.
Now here's Westbrook. 5 points in the game. Six to shoot. Pass to Schroeder. Oklahoma City needs to get off a shot.
A highlight reel play all the way, just can't connect.
Man, what a missed opportunity there. Really just came down to some poor timing.
Paul George, he's been the guy making things happen for Oklahoma City. Scoring, rebounding, he was all over the place during that quarter. They are riding his performance right now. Back to the action after this word. While we have the chance now, folks, let's go to our State Farm assist of the game.
And the definition of teamwork right there, guys. I mean, what great communication between them, and what a beautiful feed.
You know, coaches talk about it all the time, but to be able to play with that kind of feel, nice play, collaborating, improvising, and organic.
And we reach the fourth quarter in a game that may be already out of hand. And so it's Schroeder with the ball. He'll bring it up for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Andre Robertson out there with Nerlens Noel. And then there's Steven Adams. Then there's Russell Westbrook. And it's Schroeder in at the 2. That's the lineup out there for the Thunder.
What a nice-looking shot from Schroeder there. Caught the defense off guard with the beautiful floater.
Gordon finds Anthony. And Dennis Schroeder gets the whistle that time. That's his first foul. On defense, Oklahoma City. It's an 18-point lead. The drive by Green. Teardrop shot, and it's blocked by Adams.
Adams is a decent shot blocker, but relies on his position mostly, that time in the right spot.
And that one's good. Schroeder.
He's having a night right now. Credit to the shooting touch, helping his team with the lead.
Here's Gordon after the made shot from Dennis Schroeder. Green, the pass to Gordon. And that one drops for him.
Oh, sweet move there, taking the defender off the dribble and then just cruising in for the layup.
Schroeder kicks to Westbrook. Takes a 3. But they get it back. Noel. Taken away by Nene. Here's Anthony. Shooting foul as the whistle blows. He'll shoot 2 free throws.
Got to stay in front of Carmelo Anthony when he's driving hard like that. The defense is finding itself in a very tough spot. That's how he got that call.
Well, most figured Melo would go to the Rockets after the buyout trade to Atlanta last summer. He's playing for a coach he used to butt heads with in New York with Mike D'Antoni. Melo has some proving to do this year, whether he wants to acknowledge it or not.
2.
And the first one at the line is good.
Man, that 2003 draft class, just an absolute monster. And Carmelo Anthony, the 3rd pick that year. Think about it, LeBron, Melo, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh. Heck, 3 or 4 of those guys played together, but all taken in the first 5 picks. What a great draft that was for the NBA.
And both free throws good for Anthony. And you know, in that 2003 draft, the Pistons famously picked Darko Milicic over Melo with the second pick.
Yeah, I think we're all pretty familiar with that, Kevin, at this point. And Melo coming off such a terrific season at Syracuse, where he led the team to the national title as a freshman. And crazy to think, if the Pistons had taken him, I don't know, how many more wins would they have piled up at this point?
At the line for 2.
The Thunder, Brent, playing with such energy, but shooting, not their strong suit.
No, one of the lower three-point percentages in the league as a team. The free throw line also last year really weird. A big-time struggle for guys who had career-low years from the free throw stripe. So tough to win big in today's game if you're not hitting threes and then not hitting the freebies.
The first free throw is good.
Wow, they've made every free throw here in the second half.
Houston making a switch here. Harden's checked in. And both free throws good for Green.
Yeah, I like that they haven't lost their aggressiveness here in the second, despite being down.
Westbrook against Harden. Looking to get it going, and Westbrook throws it down.
Westbrook motoring through the maze of defenders right there, and the explosive finish.
Rockets trail by 16. Harden finds Gordon. Back to Harden. From past the arc. He can't hit that time. So the Thunder will take it the other way. 22 is their biggest lead. And that one's good. Noel.
And some guys just have a nose for scoring. And this one couldn't have been any easier.
Well, on the defensive end, this is a joke. The lack of awareness is exactly why this team is so far behind.
In the corner, it's Westbrook. The shot's good on the assist by Schroeder. Schroeder's got 5 assists in the game. Rockets have gone 1 of 3 from the field to start the fourth quarter. Gordon, the pass to Nene. He kicks to Harden. To stop the run. It's rebounded by Oklahoma City. Westbrook's got his 7th rebound of the game with that last one. And foul on the shot, so he'll get a chance at the line.
And Dennis Schroeder, a.k.a. Dennis the Menace, remember, coming over from Germany, has been a great slasher and an attack point guard who likes to get around the rim and challenge some bigger defenders.
Shooting 2.
First one falls for him. And with Schroeder, his ability to cut back, Brent, with the ball is what makes him a great playmaker.
Yeah, he plays some games around the screen, and his vision has improved. Being in that system, some predictive passing has helped him along. And he still has some flash and flair to his game. Like to see it when he plays with that kind of confidence.
Jeremy Grant, he's checked in for Dennis Schroeder. He hits one, then misses the second attempt from the free throw line. Well, Brent, we're seeing the Hack-a-Shack targets improve their free throw shooting. Rules changes might curb the strategy, though, going forward.
Well, it's been nice to see that NBA players have worked on a weakness of theirs, free throw shooting in particular, to be better and be somebody who can stay on the floor to impact your team's winning. We saw that last year, Andre Drummond being a prime example. The other thing, Kevin, that we've seen too is coaches having to implement strategies, not just to do the hacking, but in terms of their substitutions and who's on the floor. So interesting thought processes from both ends, but mostly go shoot some free throws, guys.
Yeah, practice.
Practice.
Chris with the rebound. Houston's gone 0-3 so far in the fourth quarter from long range. Here's Anthony. The step back jumper is good.
And you can tell the defender not anticipating the step back. He was headed in the opposite direction.
Here's Robertson, defended by Gordon. It's good.
I'm sorry, that's poor defense down low again. It's been a mismatch thus far in the paint.
The Rockets have gone 2 of 7 from the field in what's been a cold start to the fourth quarter for them. Harden outside. That's in there. Anthony with the assist. Harden's got 26.
Melo good at scanning the entire floor, and that's why that time he found the open teammate.
Westbrook dishes to Grant. That's good. He's 5 for 9.
Well, he's such an athletic forward. Absorbing contact is something that he's learning to do, getting much better at it.
Gordon deciding where to go with it. Passes to Harden. Game is so wide open now, Brent. Such a great pace. Does that put more strain on bigger players? Physically.
I think it's putting strain on everybody here. I think last year we saw...
regardless of size.
Yeah, injuries to every position, the key guys at every position. I think that some of the physical motions that players have to perform in games because they're covering more ground and in susceptible positions, it's happening to everybody. The issue with the big guys, Kevin, is they're not playing. Less of them are getting more important time on the floor, so it's a strain on everybody.
And 6'7" swingman Andre Robertson out of the University of Colorado, one of the league's premier defensive specialists.
And Kevin, there's a reason he started for most of his career, and it has nothing to do with his shooting.
2 shots.
Now returning from that ruptured patella tendon, will he regain that elite defensive form? Only time will tell.
He's off on the first.
And a power forward in college. Robertson's been working on increasing his shooting range ever since he entered the league.
Paul George, he's checked in for Oklahoma City. Chris Paul's checked in for the Rockets. And no good on the second free throw, so he goes 0 for 2 there.
And missing opportunities here to extend that lead at the free throw line this half.
And not a stellar first half, but he's become an absolute machine scoring the ball in the second.
Now, here's George. Pass to Grant. He doesn't hit that one. Good work defensively by Capella. Down low, here's Anthony. And a great assist by Paul as that one goes in. And that's now 17 points for Carmelo Anthony. Grant outside. Over to the wing. Westbrook against Paul. Just 5 to shoot. And that one's good. Westbrook.
And what a turnaround from the first half. I mean, he's been incredible here in the second half.
Paul kicks to Harden. Back to Paul. Here's Harden on the wing. Over Westbrook. And the shot is long. Oklahoma City leading by 19. To the inside. Adams finds Robertson. It's hauled in by Clint Capella. Capella's got his 7th rebound here tonight. And Andre Robertson is going to pick up the foul. That'll be his 2nd foul of the game.
And the next one puts him in the bonus.
Westbrook against Harden. Paul with the ball. Back to Harden. Tries it from 19. Count that one. Harden's got 9 points now in just the second half.
That's their 3rd straight make off an assist.
Westbrook kicks to Adams. A strong finish under heavy pressure all over. And the Thunder lead by 19.
Takes a lot to alter Steven Adams' shot, especially when he's operating in the painted area.
Paul right side. Thunder with the rebound. 22 is their biggest lead.
The edge on the glass is the difference. It's allowed them to build this lead.
It's pretty simple. I figured it out. He can't miss. Adding to the lead with ease and capitalizing on every opportunity. He can't miss.
Now here's Harden. The pass to Capella. Kicks it to Carmelo. Tipped away. And it's out of bounds to the Rockets as Houston retains possession.
Rockets ball.
Here's what Oklahoma City's schedule is looking like. On Saturday, they'll face off against DeAndre Jordan and the Dallas Mavericks. And then on Monday, they'll go up against Devin Booker and the Phoenix Suns.
And for the matchup with the Suns, I think it's going to be an interesting challenge. Even though they expect to come out on top, this could probably be a pick'em game, depending on how they play.
And there's the shot clock violation. Couldn't get the shot off in time. We hear a lot about small market teams being anxious about retaining their own star players. Is that overblown, or do you think there is reason for concern on their part?
Do we think that players are not going to get recognized if they play in a small market by the national media, if they're one of the best players?
Well, look Oklahoma City, look at Milwaukee with Antetokounmpo. I mean, they're all getting recognized.
Yeah, I think these ideas have gone by the wayside for a lot of players, and they want the best opportunity for their playing and their best opportunity to shine, no matter where that is. So it's a bit of an archaic argument, in my opinion, Kevin, the way it is that we see guys nowadays, and take the small market thing out about it. There's one market, it's called the NBA.
Mm-hmm. And here's George, following the three from Chris Paul. The shot's good from Robertson. Robertson's got 4 points in the quarter.
That makes it 10 of their last 12 coming from inside the paint.
Deep two from Anthony. The shot misses. And Oklahoma City will go with it the other way. Here's Robertson, guarded by Harden. And here is Grant. 6 to shoot. Ball's knocked loose. It's stolen by Anthony. Shoots over Adams. Anthony's shot is off. The Thunder leading by 20. Westbrook surveying the D. And George kicks to Grant. Back to George. And George with the stuff.
Yeah, I'd be aware of Paul George, especially when he's that close. How about that throwdown?
Paul passes to Capella. Harden outside. There's the triple. And he's good on the three ball. Harden's got 12 points in just the second half.
This guy is looking for some life preservers. He needs more help. He's playing well, but his teammates have to pick up the slack here.
Westbrook against Paul. In the corner, George with it. They get it again. Grant. And that'll be 2 free throws coming up. Officials on the call with the foul.
Hard to guard when he's that close. Grant really good at drawing the defense in to foul him.
2 shots in the lineup coming. Jeremy Grant.
Now, gentlemen, 2 shots. 2 shots.
And he makes the first. One team owner proposed that we should abolish the draft and have free agency for rookies, maybe giving lesser teams a bigger pool of money to spend. Just some of the ideas that these teams are in the league is throwing out there.
Well, that's an interesting idea. The one that I heard about last summer was in Houston trying to flip-flop free agency and the draft so that all of a sudden what you can do is draft players after it is that you've made all your free agent acquisitions, so you could draft positionally, you know you're set up for your team next year. And the more I've thought about that, Kevin, coming into the season, the more I like it. So we'll see what kind of traction that gets.
Now here's Westbrook following the shot by Chris Paul. Bucket is good.
And one team is just completely outclassing the other tonight. Spirited performance, and it really ignited what is turning out to be a monster win here for the Thunder.
As one-sided as it gets today, you know, there were some dominant moments in about every facet of this game for that team.
Yeah, I mean, Kevin, it's hard to think of what didn't go right for them. Game planning by the coaches, execution by the players, everything was just on target.
And now, for the year, this is going to take them to 7 wins.
They can chalk this one up, but these two teams will see plenty more of one another before the season's over.
And you know, when you look at the huge impact he had, just a monster game for George.
That unselfishness was on full display here tonight. Did a great job of getting his teammates going.
And James Harden was crowned MVP after last season. Greg, hard to argue with that selection.
Harden has had a case to win an MVP award for several years now. Finally was able to be the clear choice this past season. Another great line on what is shaping up to be a Hall-worthy resume.
First free throw is good.
And the southpaw stroke of Harden is just beautiful to watch. When he's cooking, he's one of the more lethal scorers in our league.
Catching up on the changes for Oklahoma City. Noel's checked in for Adams. Patterson comes in for Grant. Luwawu is checked in for Robertson. And it's Felton in for Russell Westbrook. And good on the second, so he makes them both.
And James Harden, last season's MVP, the runner-up in 2015, actually won the players' vote for MVP that season. But last season, he took home the official hardware.
Here's Luwawu. And Patterson kicks to Luwawu-Cabarrot. He dishes it to George. Just 3 to shoot. Over Ennis. A nice shot by George. George has got 35.
Running up the score, showing no mercy.
Well, you want to close the door on any type of comeback effort. This has been a vault. Ka-ching.
You're right. Now here's Harden. The shot and game clock separated by 4.
And you could see he knew exactly where that long rebound was coming off, able to get there quickly and snatch it up.
Felton taking his time here. So no problem for Oklahoma City as they get the win. They won this game going away. They were the better basketball team by far tonight.
And you got to commend this sort of dominance, particularly here at home. It's a great feeling when you play almost a perfect game and to have that crowd be so pumped up.
And a chance now to send it over to David Aldridge, standing by courtside. David.
Thanks very much, Paul. Congrats on the win. Where's your team's attitude right now?
Continue to, play together, and we can just stick to that. Keep working, staying confident, keep defending, and knocking shots down. We'll be all right.
Looked like it all came together tonight, Paul. Thanks very much. Back to you, Kevin.
All right, David, thank you. And that's going to do it tonight, folks, for our broadcast. For Brett Berry, Greg Anthony, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan along with our 2K Sports crew. And we'll see you next time.